After the creation of the first man and woman, the gods felt pleased with their work and decided to seek a place from which to protect all of their creation. It was thus that they looked to the center of everything and high above, and saw that near the YGGDRASIL tree, there rose a fertile land brimming with gold and silver called Yggdrasil, the field of deeds. In this same plain, the third root of the sacred tree was embedded imposingly, beneath which lay the well of Urd, which would later be inhabited by the Norns. Then in that land the Aesir journeyed and were fascinated by its geography. It is said that when the gods looked to the west, they saw in the distance that, just before entering Yggdrasil, there flowed a great river called Ifing, whose waters never froze, the one that separated the boundaries between the divine land and that of the giants. There also, on the borderlands within Yggdrasil, lay the lake Amsvarnir, the one of black waters. And in the midst of that lake stood the island of Lyngvi, place of heather, the sector where the great wolf will enrage his wrath until the arrival of Ragnarok. Later, when they observed the south of the prosperous land, they saw that in the distance rose the forest Myrkvidr, a shadowy forest, a mythical sector situated at the ends of the world of the gods and separating their land from that of the fire giants. This grove being the route through which the sons of Muspelheim in some versions will pass in Ragnarok. Subsequently, when the gods arrived within Yggdrasil, they were surprised to see that over a vast expanse rose a unique and magical forest, the most beautiful in the 9 worlds, and they called it Glasir, shining, for the leaves of its trees were of a brilliant red gold. In the center of that same forest will rise Valhalla, in the land of Gladsheim, where the fallen in glory will be chosen by Odin. Similarly to Glasir, in Yggdrasil stood impenetrable and mysterious a dark, primeval forest lined with brambles and tall grass, that called Landvidi, a symbol of wild and jealous nature, where the silent god will have his residence. When they glimpsed the east, they realized that on the shores of Yggdrasil, there were 2 beautiful places inviting to rest and pleasure. The first was the land of summer, where the sun shone brilliantly and winter would be chased away by the heat, a place to be ruled by the god of summer after the First Great War. On the same shores was a place of fresh waves where Odin and the arcane saga would sit and drink from the golden cup. There also, in the vicinity between Alfheim and Asgard, flourished a vast and icy valley called Edalir, where the moisture strengthened the growth of the yew tree, from whose wood the bows and arrows would be crafted by an enigmatic frost god. In another sector, near the land of the elves, was the land of Thrudvangar or Thrudheim, the world or realm of strength where thunder would establish its palace. And so, after having discovered the goodness of that territory, they decided to build in it the realm of Asgard, the abode of the Aesir. In this, the sons of Bur raised palaces and altars, with VALASKJÁLF being one of the first dwellings they built in the early days of Asgard, the Hall of the Slain. This hall was erected and roofed with pure silver, and on it was established the throne of Odin called Hlidskjalf, from where the Father God saw all geography and action throughout the 9 worlds. Likewise, the gods left a beautiful and extensive plain in the middle of Asgard, which retained the name of Yggdrasil. There the divinities gathered and discussed divine matters, those dealing with life and death, order and chaos. The gods, now settled in such a beautiful place, decided to create a way to travel to Midgard and protect all the good they had built. Therefore, they walked through the wide plain of Vigrid, also called Oskopnir, over 100 miles long and wide, as well as through other places unknown to us until they reached the edge of Asgard, where stood a vast mountain whose summit was lost in the clouds. To this prominence they called Himmelberget, the mountain of the sky. Then the divine craftsmen gathered the essence of water, air, and fire, and anchored the newly born Bifröst bridge to the mountain, also named as the Bridge of the Aesir, Asbru, which sometimes glowed with the flickering colors of the elements like a magnificent rainbow, and other times flamed its fire, forming a corridor in flames. This creation rose from the sky to the earth, passing through the land of Kurlaug, provided with a variety of streams, among which stood out the rivers of Kermt and Ermt, and flowed into Midgard in sectors blurred by the passage of time. And it is there, in the realm of Asgard, where the gods settled their family life. And it is there where the first gods were born. In the shadow of the great tree of life, the one that unites the 9 worlds, the one we call YGGDRASIL.